Hello. I had to get rid of the other video because of copyright reasons. So happens it probably had to do with the music that was playing in the background. Hold on. Can you guys hear me more better? Yeah, I had to get rid of the video because of copyright reasons. The music in the background was playing, and I guess you're not supposed to do that. But, I made like my own milkshake, it's like a it's like a blackberry blueberry milkshake that I had made with vanilla ice cream. It's still kind of like ice cream. It ain't all the way melted. The blackberries is sour. Oh, crap. I'm gonna drop my phone. And I will also be sharing a story called Shuttered by a Sugar Fly. The story starts off with the younger brother. It's about two brothers. The younger brother, his name is Hezekiah Radcliffe. He lives with his grandmother. He lives with his grandmother Irma, and in the morning time, Irma had made him a scrambled eggs and marmalade sandwich. That's his favorite thing to eat for breakfast. After getting his sandwich from his grandmother, he had went outside, to stare at the sunshine, get some fresh air. He's getting some fresh air and staring at the sunshine while eating his sandwich. And he also had witnessed some mean neighborhood kids messing with this bird's nest in a tree. These kids was like had like this big branch and was like trying to, hit at the bird nest in the tree. And when he saw it, it came up and told him like, "Hey, get away from that tree." To say about Hezekiah, he has a mind of a 7 or 8 year old, but he still has enough sense. But he has like the mind of like a 7 or 8 year old. If you get what I'm saying, that's how he are. He got some things wrong with him, but he's still smart. And once he said that to the children had ran off because they got scared. They didn't know he was over there watching them. And well, before they had ran off though, they ended up messing around, hitting at the bird nest again, and knocking the nest out of the tree. And out of all the birds, the rest of the birds had died, and like only one bird had survived, but it had like a broken wing. And that bird, Hezekiah, had took that bird and kept it inside of an old mayonnaise jar. He wanted to take care of it because the bird's wing was broken. It wasn't able to fly like a baby bird, but it had like a broken wing. It was injured from the kids, hitting it with the branch. Hezekiah's brother's name is Trevor Radcliffe, and he lives with his girlfriend Lee. But he lives in two different places. He will go to the motel to stay. He got a room at the motel. He also stay with his girlfriend. Is because the reason why is because of his bad habits that has to do with drugs. And he he trying to hide his addiction from his girlfriend, but she already knows about it, and she's hoping for him to get the help that he needs. His girlfriend's name is Leba, Leeba. And I don't know how in the world he wasn't able, to get. How in the world he still has his job, but he does it, almost every day inside of the restroom at his job. He flips burgers for a living. Well, he ain't the one that's flipping the burgers. He's actually just handling, the register. And but it's somebody who's flipping the burgers, and one of the workers is a younger guy named Morgan. Morgan is like 18 years old, He's been keeping an eye on Trevor, watching out for his behavior and everything. And the suspect that he's on something, and he ain't acting like the rest of the customers. I mean, the rest of the employees. And Morgan came into the restroom and was telling Trevor, like he doesn't have to hide his habit because he already knows what he's doing when he goes in there. And Trevor was trying to brush it off and act like he don't know what the heck Morgan is talking about, but Morgan was letting him know that it's okay, it's nothing to be ashamed about, and that he's hoping to jump on the same train with him, if you know what I mean. Do the same thing that he's doing. And Trevor let him know right off the bat, like, dude, you don't want to walk in the same shoes as me. You don't want to jump on the same train with me. You need to stay in your lane, because this train right here is hard to jump off. This train right here is hard to jump off of, like it'll take you places that you don't want to go to. And I'll be doing the part two because I'm not able to record that long.